I, the goddess of faith, come to be with you to complete this afternoon. And with my sisters before you already, and all that the goddess Rose and my sister, the goddess of light, spoke into, and all who came with them, yet present with you. May you know that if you had the opportunity to observe the power of universal magnetism, if you had the opportunity to study the forces of magnetism, to understand the laws of gravity and how magnetism is a participant, if you were to see the power of attraction, laws of attraction, pure magnetism in full action, and if you had the greater illumination of what you were seeing, there is only a few words that you could speak, that you could qualify what you are seeing, what you are experiencing. Faith. Remarkable faith. Faith that is irresistible. Faith that initiates magnetism. Faith that is the powerhouse of how much of the law of attraction, the power of divine magnetism, is acting in your life. And so much more is available to you. Do you have faith in the life that you have been given? To ask yourself questions. Do I have faith in the life that I have been given? Do I have faith that I can meet all my responsibilities, all obligations, all tasks that are put before me in my work life, my family life? Do I have faith that I can meet all of those things? Do I have faith that all that I require, despite appearances, all that I require will be met, will come forth? Mother Akasha, as she teaches you metamorphosis in the Tree of Life class, she explains to you that as you enter the metamorphosis meditation, you are to take conscious moments and invite the Holy Spirit to come from the sacred chamber where your grand cosmic self abides, to invite the Holy Spirit into your minds and your bodies. And she has suggested to you that the Holy Spirit can and will, when invited, will clear your mind. And in case it has not stood out in your attention, Mother has said to you, when invited, the Holy Spirit will remove all your beliefs in appearances. That is remarkable. And let me say it a different way, so we get right into the core. You will not be pleased at what you hear. A fear of appearances overcoming you is a belief in appearances. Belief in appearances is misused faith. Belief in appearances is a wrong use of faith. Faith that those appearances will overtake you. Faith that the seeming power of those appearances that you will not be able to meet. They are forgotten memories. Important memories you were not supposed to forget. The ability, depending on what you are facing, to say to yourselves, of all that I desire and all that I require, this seems to be more than I presently have in my life. A phrase that I encourage you to align with. 3 words. I just knew. I just knew. A friend comes to you, who knows your situation, and says to you, well, you know, I heard you talk about this event, or I heard you talk about how lovely it would be to have 7 days off and go to Hawaii and get into some warm weather. I heard you talk about this, but we both know that you don't have the means. And you might say to them, well, I changed my mind so that the appearance could change. I changed my mind so that the appearance could change. And I took on a new attitude. And in that new attitude, I just knew. I just knew that what I required, whether it was money, supply, airline tickets, money for hotel room, I just knew it would be covered. Let not, beloved hearts, your life be flatlined by satisfaction of anything in this matrix, your third dimension. Let satisfaction for a time, as you continue to grow, as you continue to spiral upwards, as you continue to be more of God and less of the human, let not satisfaction be your friend. Seek to reach and keep reaching beyond what seems to be your capacity. And just know that your own greater life, your friends in the universe, and us, the goddesses, give us the opportunity that if you will shift a few degrees, if you will have willingness this conclave right now to shift a few degrees to the right. Just imagine inside, I'm shifting a few degrees to the right. And that shift means that there will be greater demonstration of faith in my life. That there will be a greater demonstration of faith in my life. Notice, I did not say I. That I will demonstrate a greater faith in my life. I did not say that. I said that there will be a demonstration of greater faith in my life, or acting in me. Because you have to take the personal self that sometimes has not had faith, has succumbed to doubt. Yes, I know. Some appearances seem to be difficult. They've had a long history to them. They've been around for years. For 10 years, I've been living on a pension check. Yet I desire to go out and do something. Well, something's got to change. And by my own growth, I shall not look for that change in the world first. If something's got to change, that I can do things that are beyond my present means, then the change has to take place inside me. And the means of that change is being willing to understand how powerful the force of faith is. A force of faith. A force of faith is an action demonstrated by your willingness. A force of faith demands angels, goddesses, the hierarchy of your own being to move into action, to administer or minister the laws of attraction and draw to you your own. Your own is not a religious term. Your own is all that you desire and require. You have come so far. Your father, a son, indicates such development in those 4 areas. We goddesses, we hear what he says. We are all interested in offering you the pearls of our divine femininity, the pearls of our quality side of life. And if you will only be willing to make a few little changes. And it begins with you being a little bit more objective in your life and taking your own life a little less personal. When you take your own life so personal, then the challenges can root themselves so deeply that it seems to take a longer time to overcome them. What is it that you desire? What is it that you require? Have you really taken time to think about it? Or are you living so day to day seeking to meet the demands in your life, in the outer world, while at the same time dedicating a part of your life to your spiritual study and becoming? Oh, goddess of faith, it's a lovely thing. I appreciate what you're saying. However, goddess of faith, I just really don't have the time to actually sit down and think about what I desire and require. Not only that, goddess of faith, I'll be honest with you, and I'll tell you, if I was to sit down and think about what I desire and require, my history, my belief in appearances, my not understanding how things could change, would actually limit my list. I wouldn't dare put on my list what I desire and require. Oh, I might put on what I require, but what I desire, there's a part of me, the fragmented consciousness, just don't believe it. Just don't believe it. Be honest with me, beloved hearts, because I know the quagmire you found yourself in. I know that your history is not always your friend. But you see, when you are honest with these things, in a moment they can be erased. Where you can say to yourself, I know myself well enough. I know myself well enough. Sure, I can write you a list, goddess of faith. I can write you a list of the things that I require in my life. But the things that I desire, goddess of faith, where do we start? I can start, but it's not going to seem real to me because I can't figure out how in heaven any of those things. Goddess of faith, I desire to have a month off every year to do whatever I please. I might sleep the whole month. I might holiday the whole month. I might go shopping the whole month. Great idea. But the old human psyche and all the things, all the challenges, the limitations that I didn't overcome, things remained the same. The times in my life where I was just able to pay the bills, what was going on in my relationships. And then the next relationship came, and the next relationship came. And in all those relationships, although each one was a different person, they were all the same bums showing up. So, goddess of faith, there seems to be something in me that attracts these bums into my life. They got different faces, but their bums are the same. So I know myself well. Oh, I know myself well. Yeah, you do. But you're also in a time of great reinvention. You're a time of great rebirth. These are magical times. And if I hear you, beloved hearts, if you're willing to try me, I am the essence of faith. And if I hear that you are willing in your self-talk to incorporate those words, I just knew. So that when someone comes along and says, how did you do that? I know how you're limited in your life. How did you pull that off? Well, actually, I had a change of heart. I had a change of mind. I realized my past is going to be my future unless I don't change something. So I decided to start growing faith in myself. And the dialogue in my mind would be, I just know that whatever I require to meet the demands in my life, to meet all that I desire and require, I just know that everything will be there. It is that knowing that triggers the power of magnetism. It is that knowing that triggers the law of attraction. But you have a rough day. The appearances climb. A son has asked you to practice. He's asked you, give yourself a break. Breathe. Don't react to what's going on in your life. Remind yourself. Take a moment. take a deep breath to whatever's going on in my life right now. What is the best way to respond? Just be still, breathe, be open. It is not long because you asked an intelligent question that your own inner God intelligence will direct you to the kind of response in which no matter what you are facing, everything worked out. People come to you, how did you make it work out? Well, I've changed. I have a new attitude. I just knew it was going to work out. I just knew. I just knew. I just knew. I welcome a faith to rise in me. And I welcome that faith to be like a new passion that just overwhelms me. A passionate faith that when I am succumbing to limitations, a passionate faith, a voice of God from the wilderness rises up and says, no. You want to do this? You sign up for it. You sign up for it. You book that reservation. You go to that 5-star restaurant that you always wanted to go to. You book it right now. In fact, take 5 friends with you. And know that you're picking up your foot in the bill. And have faith. Have faith that all that is required will be there. And the way to practice that faith is a dialogue with yourself. And you got to keep hitting the appearance, the ugly appearance that will try to rise its head and get into your dialogue. And when it shows up, you have to say to that altered ego, that compromised consciousness in mind, no. I know that whatever I desire and require, whatever I am saying yes to, I know that everything will be there. And then expand this. If your life, your world, the whole populations of the world do not know what to do with changing weather conditions. Changing weather conditions are impacting people everywhere in their work, their transportation. Weather conditions are impacting gardeners, farmers. And one season, months of work, spring and summer, cultivating gardens and crops. And along comes the weather that's not friendly because of the earth changes. One thing you cannot predict any longer is a consistency of weather because of the changes that must come to this planet. Yet, whether you are a farmer, whether you are a business owner, it doesn't matter. Take the metaphor. If your crops get wiped out, you must take your stand now that no matter, everything will work out. In fact, scratch your head. Even if everything got wiped out in your business, your farms, whatever, somehow, by some magic potion, formula, I got more means and supply than I ever had. I'm still trying to figure it out. Your knowing is not to be based on the past. Your knowing is a bridge that ensures that your past is not repeated. Your knowing draws universal laws of magnetism. And within those laws of magnetism is a science of mind that understands and knows. You put $500,000 into a business, and 3 years later, it has failed. But you know that no matter what, you'll come through it. And you'll even have more money and more opportunities than you had before you even started, because you decided that you know it. Your knowing feeds faith. Your faith feeds the power of magnetism. The power of magnetism then draws to you beings throughout the cosmos that step in and make sure that your faith in what you knew, so gone, no longer existence, is your faith that something will not work out. Faith that something will not work out. Isn't that remarkable? Misapplication. Faith in doubt is the most miserable faith. Life will even demand you to examine your expressions. Oh, I doubt that. What did you just say? I was about to say, I doubt that, until you interrupted me. Oh, but I thought you said a few days ago that doubt is the nefarious stepchild of fear. And you were just about to start a sentence. Oh, I doubt that. Your own life is going to make you conscious of everything you are speaking. If you will meet me on what I have shared with you, if you will realize knowing is your qualifier of what will happen tomorrow, months down the road, and years down the road. Knowing that is not based on the past. Knowing that is predicated on what it is that you desire and require. Do you desire to prosper? Do you desire to have healthy relationships? Do you desire to be happy? Do you desire to have a wonderful reservoir of money or supply or whatever that is? Do you desire to get in touch with a creative spark that you feel is there, but it is not plain known to you? Then start knowing it's there, and it's going to be there. So that when people begin to ask, as they see changes in your life, your sentence will, and they ask why, that you might begin your responses, well, I just knew. I just knew that everything was going to work out. Will you consider? Yes. Then I will be a new goddess. I'm not a new goddess, but I will be new and becoming more active in your life. I thank you. I thank you. Beloved goddess of faith, and goddess rose and goddess lights, we are so grateful that you came to us together this afternoon. And we will seek to practice all that you have taught us. And we will seek Mother Akasha's magnet within our hearts to be a magnet that just keeps drawing you into our lives. We thank you.